All right, class, let's begin our arithmetic time today by reviewing a little bit before going into the new material. That is what? An angle. Two rays put together make an angle. What shape is that? Did you say rhombus? If you did, you are correct. Rhombus. Rhombus. How about that one? The longer one on one side is what? It's called a parallelogram. Parallelogram. And then this one is the trapezoid. Did you say trapezoid? Trapezoid. It looks like there's a longer end here than there. But then these two sides are not the same either. This one goes down that way. This one goes down at a slant. So learn that shape too. It's called a trapezoid. Think if I drew a line here, I could have a triangle and a square, couldn't I? Couldn't I? And then you have a trapezoid. What's that? Yes, the rectangle. And we know one side's longer than the other, and those are, do you see the little squares there? It means they're right angles, and they're perfect, so we know it's actually a rectangle. Circle, triangle, square. All right, and then we're going to go and we're going to look at some fractions and decimal equivalents. So let's look at those. This time I'm going to give you the decimal. You tell me the fraction. Did you say 41 hundredths? 111 thousandths? 21 thousandths? 300 thousandths? I'm sorry, 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths. 1 thousandths. And you'd write it just like that. 131 thousandths. And you'd write it just like that. 9 tenths. 121 thousandths. 4 tenths. You getting those? You remember those? How about some fractions that need to be reduced? 1/2. 3/4. Who knew that it was 3/4 before I said it? Say it before I do, all right? 2/3. 1/2. 1/3. 2/5. 2/3. Raise your hand if you knew all of those, and you said it before I did. Good job for all of you that did. If you didn't, keep practicing. Keep practicing those. We need to get better and better at those. Being able to, in our head, be able to divide, find the common denominator or least common multiple, whichever the case may be, that number that you're dividing by to reduce the fraction. Last time we ended up with 12 things equals a dozen. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. 1 peck equals, what one is this one? 8 quarts. I want you to memorize that one if you don't know that one. 1 peck equals 8 quarts. Kilo means 1,000. Hecto means 100. Deca means 10. Deci means 1/10 or 0.1. Centi equals 1/100 or means 1/100th or 0.01. Milli equals 1/1000th or 0.001. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. I want you to look at that one. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. I know you have the number 100 in your head, but from milli to centi, the difference between they're just one away from each other as far as smallest to largest. And so it's 10. So going from hecto to kilo is also 10, right? So keep that in mind too. If it said how many, a meter would be how many centimeters, then we'd say 100, right? But from milli to centi, the difference is 10. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. Good. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. 1 foot equals 12 inches. Did you know them as quickly as I said them just now? I hope so. Now, I want you to grab your whiteboard. Remember your whiteboard that I sent home to all of you? If you don't have one, you can use a piece of paper, but get out your whiteboard. See how you had one like this? And I'm going to call out some combinations to you. Actually, I'm just going to make it really simple. I'm going to give you an addition fact because I have found that there are some that, for whatever reason, you didn't quite master your addition facts quick enough. And so here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give the fact. You're going to write it on the board, and you're going to flip it up like this. And let's see who can do it first. Ready? 9 plus 6 equals. Did you write 15? 15? I hope you did. 8 plus 3. Do it before I do. 11. Did you beat me? I hope so. 9 plus 9. 18. If you don't do it before I do, you don't know it quick enough. 7 plus 6. 13. 8 plus 9. 17. Well, this one. 7 plus 7. 14. 8 plus 8. 16. It should be instant, right? 6 plus 7. 13. 8 plus 7. 15. How about one like this? 21 plus 6. 27. 7 plus 4. 11. 6 plus 8. 14. 25 plus 25. 50. Think of money. 2 quarters are both 25. 50. 5 plus 6. 11. Now you may have thought that was easy, but did you know them? Is it instant in your mind when you see those ones? These are ones I have found certain ones not really knowing or not knowing well enough, and perish the thought that someone would use their fingers at this late in the game. No, we know it in our head. Just like that. We don't have time to count fingers. It's a crutch that will cripple you your whole life. So please don't do that. Hopefully you're not doing that and you know them. Well, we're going to go right into reviewing the perimeter and area. I first want you to look at perimeter. Now, you see this box right here? I want you just to look in this box. Forget everything outside the box right now as we review perimeter. And we have learned the formula for perimeter. Now we could say length plus width, or we could use the formula P equals length 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. If on your paper it simply said L equals 6 feet, W equals 4 feet, and it said rectangle. That's enough information to solve the problem. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to solve it, is what I mean. 6 and 4. And you simply write the formula, memorize this formula. P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, or 2 times the L plus 2 times W, right? And then you would simply rewrite it, plugging in the numbers. P equals 2 times length plus 2 times the width. P equals 2 times 6, because length was 6, plus 2 times 4, because the width is 4. And so put the numbers in there. Well, 2 times 6 equals 12, and 2 times 4 equals 8 there. And so add them together. 12 plus 8. What's 12 plus 8? Good job. 20. You should know that as well. 20. And you would simply write, I ran out of room here, but you could simply, underneath that, you would write for the answer, P for perimeter equals 20 feet. And at the end, make sure you put the unit, feet if it's in feet, yards if it's in yards, and so on and so forth, whichever the unit is that they use, meters, centimeters. That's perimeter. Now we're going to go to area, and what may happen, and we don't want this to happen, is confusing perimeter with area. This is perimeter. Remember, the distance around is what we've measured, right? Distance going around an object is perimeter. Area, though, is all the space in between, inside the object, the square or the rectangle, all right? And so we have a formula for area, and the formula for area is A equals length times the width. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm going to stand up here. There's a length and the width. The longer end is the length. The shorter side is the width. So in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could write that side is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That side is 8. If the length is 8, since that's longer, and the width is 6, when we solve for area, we would simply write A equals length times width. Then under that, we would write that again. A equals, well, what is the length? 8. Let's say it was in yards this time. Let's say it was yards. 8 times 6. And then we would write A equals 48. Would we just write yards? I said something last time, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you again. When it's area, we don't just write yards, we write square yards. So square yards. And that's what you would write. Hard to fit it in there. Later, we'll talk about abbreviating the word square to SQ, which you've seen used before. A equals 48 square yards. That, all of that is the answer. That's the answer, and I'm going to circle it. A for area equals 48 square yards. So, let me show you something. Inches times inches equals square inches. Feet times feet equals square feet. What do I mean that? I'm multiplying yards by yards in this case to find area, right? When you find area, you're multiplying two sides together. So inches times inches equals square inches. Feet by feet equals square feet. Yards times yards equals square yards. Meters times meters equals square meters. Does everyone understand that? With perimeter, we don't have a square unit in our answer. But in area, we have a square unit for our answer. If it's in yards, it's square yards. That's what this means. Inches times inches equals square inches. Feet times feet equals square feet. See how it's square yards? Because yards times yards equals square yards, whatever the unit is. Inches, feet, yards, meters, miles, as I see a peek in your book, miles times miles equals square miles. So when we're multiplying the unit times the unit, we get square. What do you mean? Because see all these squares? They're filling in every square inch or square yard or square mile of whatever this is representing. And then we can do it. So you're going to use the formula today to do lesson 159, which is page 287 in your book. And you will use the formula to do that. If you don't quite understand it, again, don't confuse perimeter with area. If you don't quite understand it, play this video again, send me a message. I just don't quite get this, and we'll see what we can do to help you. But you should be able to do it, and if not, then we want to help you, all right? You do a super job, a fantastic job. I know right now I'm looking out the window and I see a beautiful day, but I know it's hard to concentrate when it's so pretty, but the test of your character is this, class. And this is for grown-ups too. It's at the end, as we get closer to the end, it's always a little harder. Oh, the weather's so good. The weather outside is frightful or delightful or whatever. The weather outside is brightful. Brightful. The weather outside is pretty. And it makes us want to stare out the window and not do your work. So, are you being good for your parents and really focusing on the lesson and doing your best? Then when you're done, then you can go play or whatever it is going on at your home. Like maybe you're not able to, but maybe you are. And maybe you have your playtime and then your parents will work. Whatever the situation is, obey your parents and get along and work hard. And the Lord will reward you for your hard work. Even at the end, this is important for 5th grade. Mr. Vaughn, I know, has talked to me and that they learn these things. So you want to remember this, all right? Do a super fantastic job, and I will see you in the next video, and you take care.